How is everybody doing today? My name is Master Zero, and welcome back to another reaction video. This time we're reacting to There Are Thousands of Alien Empires in the Milky Way by In a Nutshell. Alright, so not only did we get a new In a Nutshell video, but it's also about space, and not only is it about space, but it's about aliens, life, and stuff like that, you know, which gets me really riled up in the best of ways, you know, like the scientific riled up, where you just like keep asking questions and pondering. I'm literally already doing it, my voice is getting faster and stuff, but like, it's just really exciting, and like a very interesting topic, to say the least, you know, like, because the universe, it's big, it's very big, and my understanding is there are other life forms out there. It's just like, kind of like us, we're kind of stuck in our own little rock, you know, like, we don't really know light speed and stuff like that, so we can't really travel that far in terms of like universe scale, you know, like we just made a rover hit Mars, you know, that's as far as we got, as far as I know, but like a really awesome telescope can see farther, don't get me wrong, but like us individually going somewhere is what I'm talking about, you know, so like the other species or aliens, whatever you want to call them, like they might be in the same boat, you know, like they might not be able, like they might be dumber than us, they might be smarter than us, but like I don't think they captured light speed travel yet. That's like the only reason why we haven't seen anything, you know, so it's really exciting stuff, just like I said, trying to ponder everything about aliens, so this should be a very awesome video. So without any further ado, There Are Thousands of Alien Empires in the Milky Way.
What if there are thousands of alien empires in the Milky Way, each spanning a few
You add
to
the
maybe
narrator's
tens of
voice,
star
man.
systems, chatting, trading, sometimes shooting or ignoring each other politely.
Oh.
And
Hopefully
if so,
the ignoring part.
Why is nobody visiting us? While the Milky Way is ancient and gigantic,
Yeah, it
traveling
is.
at
That
10%
is an
the speed of light,
understatement.
any civilization could take over the whole galaxy within a million years.
Oh, that's
But we
all?
haven't
Just a
seen
million
anybody
years?
yet. So it seems we're alone in the Milky Way. But this idea is built
Not
on a lot
necessarily.
of assumptions. Usually, when scientists
Then again, so was the
speculate
other
where
one,
all
right?
alien civilizations
A lot
are,
of assumptions.
they assume technology
That's
will
what
progress
science
to a
is.
point where colonizing all of space becomes kind of easy.
Oh.
But what if we're thinking about
okay.
this the wrong way?
I was gonna say achievement
What if
unlocked,
the
but you
universe
scared
is
me.
full of life, but no matter how technologically advanced you are, space
Whoa.
is never easy.
No, it's
What
not.
if aliens slowly
can't
crawl
breathe up
through
there.
space, expanding like
Ooh,
humans
Moana.
did in the ocean? Let's look at the only data
It is
point
kind of like
we
Star
have,
Trek, you know, like space, the
ourselves.
final frontier.
The available
Oh.
real estate in the galaxy.
Love that. That's literally what I was
Oceania
talking about with
is a
Star
region
Trek.
with tens of thousands of islands scattered across millions of square kilometers, separated by an unforgiving, deadly sea.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of like a galaxy.
Hey.
Some 5,000 years ago, the
the
first people
bite-sized
set out
pieces
to
I love so
colonize
much.
Oceania. Especially the Polynesians achieved mind-blowing feats. Without any modern technology,
It's literally
they set
just
out into
Moana,
the
man. I
vast
love it.
nothingness, hoping to find a new island to claim, or, like, die far from home.
Oh,
But most of
it's
the
like you either
Pacific
find
Islands are
land or
merely
you
a few
die.
wet rocks
Pretty
or
much, like
corals,
that's the only
maybe
option.
some palm trees,
Oh.
and if you're lucky, birds making a pit stop.
All right.
Others with more vegetation are often hostile.
It's like Sea of
lacking the
Thieves,
resources
man.
to
You
really
get so
sustain a
excited
lot
you
of
find an
people
island, there's like
and
nothing
remain
on it.
uninhabited even today. And then there are the good islands. The Polynesians
Maui.
colonized them,
Or where
spreading
Maui
their
was, I
culture and
guess.
society
No, he was
to
trapped. I
dozens
don't-
of remote islands of all
Maybe it wasn't a good
sizes.
island.
Some united in kingdoms spanning many islands.
Let's go.
Others were
See what happens when, like,
independent, many
humanity
home to
work
competing
together.
and belligerent tribes.
Oh.
And although thousands of kilometers apart, even the most remote islands were connected with at least some
let's
trade
go.
and exchange. A
Man, trade is
microcosm
so
of humanity.
important.
But it didn't always work
Oh,
out.
just beans in
The
an egg.
extremely isolated Pitcairn Islands were settled for hundreds of years and relied on trade with each other and bigger islands hundreds of kilometers away.
Uh-huh.
And then the local population vanished. We don't know why. Maybe because the islanders
Okay.
did the human thing
Why
and
don't we
ravaged
know?
the natural resources until they became unsustainable.
That's a very big possibility
Maybe the
there.
decline on distant, bigger islands severed important connections. We only know
That's like the
their
grass is
culture
always
declined
greener
and
thing
they
going
left
on.
or died out. What if space
Hopefully
is
just
an
left.
ocean to us?
Always think positive, you
A
know?
hostile place that's hard to conquer.
Yeah, in transition. Beautiful.
Would alien civilizations spread
Now I understand
like
it
the
a whole lot more.
Polynesians? The universe is kind of a horrible place.
That's a very
the Milky Way
understatement,
has
man.
around 200 billion star systems, and
Beautiful.
it seems that almost all of them have planets. Estimates vary, but there may be some 300 million to tens of billions of rocky Earth-like planets.
Okay, I didn't know
in the
that
habitable
scaled
zone
that
around
high.
the star where
Numbers.
water can be liquid. Amazing. Except that most of them are terrible. hells of lava, dead frozen worlds.
Like, don't even try to
rocks
come here.
sterile from radiation,
It's just torture.
blanked by toxic atmospheres.
Yeah, that'll get you.
It's easy to forget, but Venus and Mars are Earth-like too.
It's like, hey, you remember
Mars is
us?
the next human
Don't look too
frontier
far
and
ahead. We're just
fairly
right next
exciting.
door.
But
Even though
Mars
still
dust is
that
poison,
distance.
and
Oh,
deadly
oh,
radiation
poor rover.
and low gravity will make you sick. Mars is the worst. Except Venus is even worse, crushing you
What?
to death.
But you just said
burning
Mars
and
was
dissolving
worse.
You in acid.
The worst.
If humanity was really motivated and had the resources and energy,
God, can you
both could be
imagine that,
terraformed
though?
within maybe 1,000 years. We showed how in other videos.
Yeah, he did.
But the thing is,
You
we already have
did like a
planet that's pretty
terraforming
great,
spill.
So currently, humanity's motivation is not very strong.
I love that scale,
Now,
man.
let's think about
Zoom
this
out.
in terms of galactic expansion.
We doth be ants.
If the Milky Way is like a vast ocean full of islands, most are planets like Mars and Venus. Barren rocks or corals where nothing grows
I played No
and
Man's
the
Sky.
elements kill you.
There's at least some creatures.
Imagine boarding a
Never
generation
mind.
ship to travel for 100 years or more, only to arrive at
Oh,
a
what's
new
that,
star,
Chris
and
Pratt
then you
movie,
get
Passengers?
a Mars, or worse,
Just instantly
a
got that
Venus.
vibe.
What a letdown. Terraforming them is such an intense
Venus is-
investment
it's
in
not
terms of
his
resources
fault.
to
It's a
make it
planet,
worth
doesn't really
spending the
matter,
time
but-
to travel to the stars for bad planets. Maybe the simple reason we
That's
don't
true,
see
like,
galaxy
all that
spanning
time just to
civilizations
waste.
is that the economics just don't
Way too
add up
expensive.
for almost
Too
all
expensive.
of the star systems out there.
Still too expensive.
But wait, you might say it's actually easy. A high-tech race with
Get
unlimited
teleportation,
resources
maybe.
could automate this process, sending thinking machines that report back every few thousand years
Ah.
with new planets ready for
That's kinda
fresh
in the
settlers
territory
or
of evil
automated ships
dictator
with
AI.
embryos. But if it were that easy, someone would have done it by now. So
That is
either
a
we are
good question to
really
ponder.
alone, or it's not easy. Thinking about alien civilizations, you need to make loads of assumptions. And for this video, we're assuming
like,
that space is
everything
hard
about
even
science
for
you have to
high-tech
assume a lot,
civilizations
dude.
that have broken free from the limitations we have today. Now,
God, when that
things are
time
getting
comes, man.
exciting.
I hope it comes.
So what if alien civilizations
Doesn't have to be
actually
my timeline,
ignore
but-
the bad islands and just pick the very best?
Hey.
Stringing together island empires
Never
like
told me the odds.
Polynesians. Thousands of galactic
Maybe Han Solo was
empires.
onto something.
Every star moves in its own orbit through the galaxy, and most stellar neighborhoods are only temporary. At any given time, in some regions,
But then
there will
going
be
back to
more
like the
good
island
islands
talk,
than
you
in
know, like
others.
if the
While
island
some
was
people,
moving
because of bad
constantly.
luck, other regions will be pretty isolated. Earth might currently be in one of these backwaters, surrounded
Ah.
by really bad islands for dozens of light years in all directions.
Got it.
We may be
like a
Pitcairn Island,
literal
so
needle in the
isolated
haystack.
that nobody knows we're here or cares to establish a colony so remote. But elsewhere
crazy,
in the Milky
man.
Way, good islands
Kind of takes me back to when I was talking about like history, like
it would be
the stuff
relatively
that's written
easy
down.
for a
That's
high-tech
not even close to all
civilization
of
to
it.
jump from one good star system
it's
to the
actually
next,
out there,
creating
man. It's
connected
crazy.
empires. Strings of worlds with all the adventure and challenges of expansion, even to really
Just
good
literally No
planets.
Man's Sky, man.
Do they need to
It's really
animate
making me want to
dead
play
worlds
it.
with oceans?
And nope.
How do they cope with alien microorganisms or strange ecosystems? Do they need to burn it all down and create a mirror of their home world?
Hopefully
or do
not.
they adapt? How many centuries do they need to make a planet
I guess it
truly
all
their
depends on
home?
like the environment, right?
Empires expanding in regions
just
full
choose
of good
one thing
islands
for everything.
would probably meet each other. Maybe they trade, maybe they fight, maybe they have
No
coffee
Man's Sky was
and
ahead of
chat
its
about the
time,
meaning of
man.
it all.
They had that little like
And just
trading
like some of
station.
the Polynesian islands, it's likely that many of these planets would be abandoned or for the empires to break apart for a number of reasons.
Calm down, Darth Vader.
First of all, most great neighborhoods would dissolve over time and connected islands would become remote.
Aw.
Then it just may be the nature of civilization to become
I hate to see
unsustainable
it, but I guess
or
it does
self-destructive.
happen. Rude.
Humanity is extremely young, and we've
Humanity's
already
good at
flirted with
destruction.
extinction. There are numerous
where I thought he was
existential
going.
risks, cultural, technological,
But
and
then you
environmental
look at this stuff
that
and you
any
just like
civilization has
you're
to
in
deal
awe,
with.
man. Like
And
you
small
can't help but be
colonies on new
positive about
planets
it
would likely be less resilient than their home worlds and in bigger
until it's
danger of
not
dying
positive.
out. Whenever this happens, this would leave a good island free again for others to rediscover and
That is true,
colonize.
I guess.
It's free real estate.
Thank you.
Also, space is just a different ballpark. The enormous distances
Yeah, the
between
scale
stars
alone,
make it
man,
hard to
that's
maintain
really
a
weird.
consistent civilization.
Can't
Just
even
think about how many
comprehend that.
cultures we have on Earth alone. Imagine if sending a message between continents took decades to arrive. Would colonies care what the home world wants from them if it can neither help nor really enforce its will on them?
Oh, that's a good
This
point,
also
man.
would make interstellar
Hey.
war, except the genocidal kind,
You should check out all these videos we already
uneconomic.
did about it.
Would you go
That's what I
to
love about
war
In a
with someone
Nutshell, man.
because
Like,
their
the
great-grandfather
previous stuff
killed
helps you
yours?
with the future
At these
stuff.
distances,
That's science,
it's not like
knowledge.
anyone could easily sneak up on each other anyway. And on a much more fundamental level,
Why you all look
if
the same?
island empires
So
don't
far
exchange
apart.
relevant
Oh,
amounts
never
of
mind.
genetic
Okay.
information, if there are no hookups between worlds, sooner or later, these populations will develop in different directions and eventually become different species, making it less
Man,
likely
that's so
that they'll want to be
crazy.
under common rule. So the idea
No,
of
your beliefs are
enormously
different.
big connected
Which
empires
happens here.
may just not be feasible if the galaxy is an
Can't even
ocean
comprehend
where
that
good
scale,
islands
man.
are few and far between. But this also
Yeah, the
means
prequels
that
tried to
new
tell us.
civilizations may pop up constantly, spread and partially or completely die out, even if just by splitting into different factions. Islands may be recolonized and abandoned over and
Big
over.
colony splitting into
What would
two
this
is never
mean
good.
for us? We might
could be too
think
small
we're
to
alone
survive.
only because we're on an isolated island right now. But there could be thousands of worlds
Again,
full of
look at
diverse
that, man.
civilizations
It is
elsewhere that we
beautiful.
would eventually drift closer
The
to.
artwork and just the
Does
idea,
this
you
make
know?
the Milky Way more scary or less scary? Is it a
Age-old
good
question,
thing
right?
that we'd have time to get our act together?
Is it good that
before
we're
we
alone in
face
the
anyone
universe or
else?
not?
Or is it a great tragedy that
Both
we
are
might
equally
not have
scary.
the chance to meet our neighbors beyond for a long, long time? Well, we don't know. But it
It's like,
is
who
something
knows,
for
man?
you to
They could,
ponder
like,
tonight when
visit
you
the
look up
next
at the
day,
sky
you know?
again.
We
Hopefully,
don't know.
Humanity is still at the beginning, and we're learning a tiny bit more about the universe every day. One
Going
day,
back to Moana.
we might spot a good island.
Let's
and
go, man.
If we're lucky, many more close by.
I love that, man. Kurzgesagt adds the little splash of hope
One
at the
huge
end.
problem
Oh my
we
god.
face as a species is that we can't agree on what's going on.
Obviously.
There are loads of news media, but most of them tend to frame reality through their point of view.
Cutting a cake?
And worse, they're trying
that's
to get your
Disturbia, I think,
attention
right?
with the most
Shia LaBeouf?
alarmist take, distorting
same thing.
reality further. Ground News, the sponsor of this video,
I've never heard of
helps
you.
you navigate our biased media landscape by
That might be
letting you
interesting,
directly
actually.
compare different articles on the same topic. from
Legitimately
media with
not
opposing
biased.
viewpoints. This not only
Hey,
reveals
South Texas.
how different sides
Maybe I
are
should read
framing
all of it.
reality for
Oh,
you,
never mind.
it also provides you with context
Obviously, it's
you would
about a rocket
otherwise
launcher.
miss, which massively improves how you can access what's really going on in the world and
Straight
can
up,
help
man.
you to make
If
up
it's
your
like
own
legitimately a
mind, similar to
non-biased
what we try to
news
do with
source, then
Kurzgesagt.
count me in.
It's like reading a meta-study instead of one single study, giving you a much
Oh, I
better
love that.
understanding of the world.
Better than what I thought it was.
Give it a try at
All the knowledge in one.
ground.news/nutshell.
Oh, let's
If
go.
you sign up through this link, you'll get 40% off the
Also
Advanced
important
plan,
information.
which gives you
It's
unlimited
not
access
necessarily
to
science,
every Ground
but
News feature.
it can be.
Your subscription directly supports
Sparkle, sparkle.
Kurzgesagt and Ground News, so they can continue to make you less reliant on single sources.
Uh-huh.
This is personal to us.
I
like
love
most
that.
people, Kurzgesagt founder Philip, who wrote this video, got his information from the same news site for most of his life. Until during a long hospital stay,
Okay.
he read all German newspapers out of boredom
All of
every
them.
day. It was simply shocking and revealing how much framing was going on, especially in headlines. One would be framing an event as
Pineapple pizza?
mildly noteworthy, another as a huge scandal, or one side would completely ignore events. If it seems
Oh,
to you
that's
that
bad.
people who you disagree with live
Blind
in
spot.
a parallel world, this is a huge reason why.
Oh, it
but all
tells
of us
you?
really should have a complete picture
Left or
of what's
right?
going on. And this is why Ground News is a genuine personal recommendation.
Hey,
If
that's
you
cool,
consume
man.
news, do it with a bird's eye perspective
100%,
above
man.
the framing.
Always get your sources
So
from
check them
different
out at
sources.
ground.news/nutshell
Get your information
to
from
make sure
different
you're
sources.
seeing the full picture. Welcome
That's
to
awesome.
the Kurzgesagt
There's
lab.
another ad?
Let's conduct a few
I'm not
stellar
used to 2 ads.
experiments. We'll first add some more mass to this
Protostar?
protostar. More.
More.
A bit more.
More.
Wow,
Oh.
we just created a blue giant.
Let's
a star
go.
with 10 times the
Oh, what are
mass
you
of our
selling me,
sun.
man? I'm on it.
Let's now add a couple of million years and see what happens. A
Okay.
supernova. Breathtaking.
And a black hole.
And look, it leaves behind a black hole.
Science is crazy,
Fascinating
man.
stuff.
I love science so much,
Now
especially
we
the
record
space
our
science.
findings. Be careful to preserve the sparkle.
Sparkle, sparkle.
It's now time for Duck's final inspection.
Oh,
This one is always a
Let me see it.
nail-biter.
Let me
He has
see it.
incredibly high standards. Luckily for us, our work is scientifically
Oh,
accurate.
look at the
offers an overview of
stars!
important
Like, not even the
astrophysical
main thing, but the
processes,
background.
And is a real stunner. Duck approves.
I want like
Looks
all
like
of
it's ready to be
your
shared
posters
with the
on my
world as a
roof, man.
poster. A very special piece of Kurzgesagt
Yeah,
you
it
can
is.
take home and touch.
All of them are so
You can
pretty.
get
Oh,
this
do I have to
very
get my
special
duck?
poster along with
Hopefully
many
nothing
other
falls down.
sciencey and spacey things created with love and care from our shop.
Those connect.
Every Kurzgesagt product you buy directly funds another moment we get to spend working on our videos. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much for being a part
Thank
of our
you for
story
making, like
and for
always.
making
And
this
Duck
channel
approves.
possible.
Yes! Man, everything about this. I love this channel so much. Alright, man, that was really, really informative. It was everything I hoped for in a nutshell video, you know? Like, the information alone was so freaking, like, enjoyable. And the way they, like, you have, like, this scope of the universe, right? That is so hard to comprehend itself. But, like, the way they summed it up into, like, okay, well, let's talk about it in the terms of islands, you know? Like, islands are more digestible for you to understand because you are, like, familiar with them, you know? They are on Earth, you know? So that was such a good way to put it. And then you, like, okay, well, now that you have that information, like, let's zoom out a lot, like, not even a little bit, but like a universal scale, you know, like, and then let's talk about it that way. But the problems of that scale arises, and then they talked about that as well, you know, like, it's just really, really informative, like, through and through, man. I love their videos so freaking much. I know I say that a lot, but, like, I'm gonna keep saying it until, like, they don't do it anymore, which is gonna be impossible, because that's, like, in a nutshell, brand, you know, like, the way they, like, make it so easy for you to, like, digest every information, and the fact that, like, their videos, like I stated during the video, you know, like, they have other videos about topics that coexist with future videos, you know, which obviously that's what science is about, like, not just science, but everything, you know, like, your past experiences help you with the future ones. But the way they do it is, like, the callback is real, man. Like, it's really, really awesome how they do it. And like I keep saying, man, it's so informative. Like, I can't get over that. Like, the freaking science is so freaking crazy, but it is impossible to understand it, you know, like, even me, like, I kind of understand, like, opening the door a little bit with this information, you know, to where, like, I want to know more, like, to where I do end up, like, looking for more information by myself. But In a Nutshell's video was the catalyst to get me involved in it, like, for my brain to spark with the idea, you know. But this one, it's been in my brain for a long time, you know, like, I kind of had this one, not necessarily the understanding of it, rather, but, like, kind of where they were going, you know, like, if they are out there, here's why we haven't seen them yet, you know, like that route, you know, like I stated at the very beginning. But overall, man, fantastic. I can't get enough of In a Nutshell stuff. So thank everybody so much for watching. Leave a like down below, subscribe, ring the bell, become a member. You get videos a day early, and check out the merch. So with that said, I have been Master Zero. You guys have been fantastic, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Later, days.